Hey guys, I started this drawing because I didn't know what the next step in my life was. I had no idea how important it would all be, and I didn't know what it would do for me. I'm at the end of my spiritual awakening, and suddenly everything is different and everything is the same. My name is Viki. I'm a spiritual teacher, intuitive coach, and I also use elements of art therapy in my sessions. My original profession is fine arts. A man clings to his small earthly world by the skin of his teeth. We grasp at it, yet we are caught between the awareness of our physical reality and the cosmic forces that move behind it. At best, we realize that there are much greater forces at work. At worst, we are stuck in the wheel of our earthly lives. We may not be aware until the end of our lives, or even then of how differently we could have lived our lives. We constantly want to keep every thread under control so that we can limit the universe as much as possible to bring us what would truly belong to us. I was no different. In this video, I talk about achieving happiness and how to be happy within yourself. I was holding on to everything too by the skin of my teeth, and I didn't even know I was holding on to things because they don't always feel that way. Combined with that, I got a special skill out of nowhere that just made everything even more confusing and even more worse. This is my story, but maybe it will help you to see how you should look at things. I had only spent a short time in the spiritual world when 5 years ago I suddenly started seeing things. I was lost in the Akashic Records that day. I just didn't know that I am lost, and I didn't know it was the word of the Akasha. It took me a year to realize what I was seeing. At the end of the spiritual awakening, suddenly everything is different and yet the same, except the perception, which is much stronger, and I sense things much faster than before. But now everything is calm. There is no drama, there is no upset, there is calm inside. Even if something happens, you can be calm inside. Even if I have no idea where I am going, I only know roughly what I want, but it feels like it's best to let myself go with the flow the universe offers. While drawing, I felt some last belief system unleashed from me, and suddenly I felt I could completely lean into the flow. But can you get into this flow until you have healed your wounds? While drawing, I felt a lot of pain, and I realized that it's not my pain, it's the pain of many people on the earth. I'm drawing somehow their pain into this picture, and while I was healing myself and maybe a little bit of everyone's pain, I painted on the paper. We bleed from an unimaginable amount of wounds. We also have a billion belief system about what is stopping us from following the flow, following our heart, what belief systems we have about the universe, about change, about trust and love, and I could go on and on. So it's no wonder that humanity is completely lost, at least a lot of people. One minute you are sitting there holding on to your earthly existence, and the next you know there is much more to it than that. You just don't know how to live it. because you have to get there, and the path is like the path is really challenging and like a face slide or a face punch. And a lot of people don't take this path because it's painful, or they don't know how, or they don't dare because they are held back by all sorts of strange belief systems, like I was held up. 5 years ago, I was sitting on my couch, my health was in shambles, my whole life was ruined, and I started seeing strange things out of nowhere. I started seeing soulmates and then past lives. I started seeing how past lives are understood and are quite different from what many people think about reincarnation. But don't think it was a reassuring thing. It totally pulled the rug out from under me. Then 5 years later, I know now how the Akashic Records is built. I have many amazing stories that friends and I have lived through because of it. I have had to touch on many very painful topics. And in the end, I did everything I could do to free myself from the Akashic Records, because I don't think this is the highest truth or the ultimate truth. It's a vast and amazing source of knowledge, but if your belief system are such that it can hold you captive, you are completely or can be completely lost in it. I had to find a balance between being able to live a normal physical life and at the same time staying aware of my path, and if it is necessary, resolving things what I am seeing in the Akashic Records. Because the seeing doesn't stop even when I have released the belief systems attached to it. My life has almost entirely consisted of seeing these fields and immediately resolving them within myself. Because everything is a matter of belief systems, but this way of life was completely unsustainable. And every single thing you come across is a sign, and every single thing that comes your way is a sign in a way you may never have thought of before. Everything, from the brand of your socks to the very last detail of your life, there are signs everywhere and hints in the Akashic Records of what past lives you have, what twin brothers and sisters you have, what soulmates you belong to, and it all forms an extremely complex web. The art is in noticing which signs is the one that we absolutely need to take note of it and release within ourselves, or which sign is the one that is now pointing the way forward for us, because it is a difficult thing. Solving these things immediately in myself and thinking about what exactly is going on then and how and according to what system and how things are going to happen then, etc. What is that if not a total control? I had to find within myself the belief system that made me decide at some point before my birth that to bring this ability into my life. Why I have chosen the Akashic Records before my birth. And it was not pleasant when I found them. So one half of you would instinctively let things go, and the other half would hold on. So the solution would be to able to let go of everything in the world, so that the greatest and most rewarding thing what is possible for you can come into your life. Most people do not understand this, or they are very slow to understand. or they know it but they don't do it, nor they do it because they don't want to step out of their comfort zone. I often see with friends or with clients that I say something but they don't hear it. They are not ready to hear it, or they just unconsciously reject it. Reject it out of hand because it would be very out of their comfort zone. In my own story, I have seen later in the back of my mind that the things that I was slipping through, even though it would have been nice to have heard it earlier. Then later, as I saw how the Akashic Records was set up, what signals it is sending us, how it worked, I tried to pick up the thread and respond to each message what I received. Either anti-belief system within myself, or hear the instruction from outside, what jump I should be making at the moment. I had to do and experience crazy things because of this, and they were not usually pleasant. Thanks to my friends who helped me live with the Akashic Records and help me live these extraordinary experiences. Thanks also to those who may have only been with me just for a while, because it was meant to be like that. Thanks to everyone around me who has endured all this madness. By holding on to everything, not only we are bleeding, but the whole earth is bleeding. Because we are unable to take care of it normally, we are unable to take care of our own health, or the animals, or etc., nature. Every single attachment we have, if it is very strong, for example, if we feel we cannot live without someone, be it a child, be it a partner, a job, etc., there are always strange forces holding us back. Old energies, old energy fields from our Akashic Records, but these can be changed. These old things can be shed. While I was drawing this drawing later that day, I was on my way to pick up my daughter from school. I was with my dog. I got in my old car, which I love, and I realized I was happy. I'm happy alone after a lot of difficulties and time spent abroad. I'm happy with my daughter, my dog, my beat up car, in the house I grew up in. I had an extraordinary feeling of gratitude, and I cried. I don't care what people think about me. I'm not driven by anything, and I can lean back with my eyes closed and know I'm going to get caught. Because I trust the universe, or God, or you can name it as you will. I've just really understood what it means to be okay and happy on your own, what it is like and what it means, and I wish it for everyone.